Good morning, it's the 8th of August, it's just half an hour before the market opens and I'm going to go over the trade plan for today. On my screen at the moment is the MES 60-minute chart and we are currently looking at this lovely double bottom. I've actually already got into this market at this location here, so I got in just on here, so I got in as we broke into it and as we got midway through to it, which is an area that's been on watch since yesterday. And if I zoom on out, it's an area of confluence as well. So we've got tops of this candles here all the way tops of these candles, so, and then it did break through, finally pulled back, and it's got the bottoms of these two candles. And then we've got yesterday's low and we've got today's low so far. So it's a good area. I'm in 4 contracts and I've taken 2 off already. And so I'm just, my last 2 are going to be runners, and I'm hoping to get back up towards the VWAP area, which leads me to my first rejection area, and it's going to be 45.20 area as a possible rejection. And that's basically, let's get a bit closer. And that's basically bottoms of these candles here and the tops of this candle, and I'm expected to pull back, put in a lower high, and then come back down and possibly break back down through this area, which we'll watch in a moment. So my trade at the moment is actually against the trend. Let's just zoom out a bit. We are in the downtrend at the moment. We had this big flag yesterday, which is what was that, on Friday? What day was that? That was Thursday, I meant. So we had that flag, and then we had a little bit of a push up to this area, 45.60, which is an area on watch again. And then we saw this big sell off on, what was that? That was on Friday, wasn't it? Big sell off on Friday, and that created this new low, which is what I've had on watch since yesterday. And we've got this area as well, which has been quite significant, 45.05.75. I did take a trade this morning off of that level. It's based on that bottom there, and it's been a previous area last week of support and resistance. Got the bottoms of these candles in yesterday's pre-market as well, and I got in right on there. I saw this tail as well. I pushed up a little tiny bit. I took a little bit of profit, but then I ended up stopping out. I did take it again when it came back down and stopped out again, because I was watching the 5-minute volume, and the volume was setting up and it looked like it wanted to reverse, bounce, which I'll go through here. So you can see this big high volume, this big volume here, and I was watching this increase in volume on this sell-off here, and then we had this volume spike, which is the highest volume of the pre-market, higher than any of the volume we've had all day, and it was with this bottom tail. So that's where I got in, thinking it was ending volume. In fact, I got in a little bit earlier. I think I got in about there, and my target was the 20 moving average and the 50. I didn't quite hit my target, and it pulled back, and I stopped out a little bit break even, and I stopped out at a loss as well. So, you know, it is what it is. I had my stop loss $3 below or $2 below that low, current low of the day, and then I waited and I got in. I think my next position was there and there, so I'm back in the green for the day. I've taken profit up here, and I'm hoping for it to push back up to that moving average again, but it doesn't look like it wants to do that. Let me just pause the video. I'm just going to manage this. Okay, so I paused the video because I was just managing the trade, make sure my stop was in. So I got my stop. I'm trading the 5-minute pivot, so my stop's sitting there, and it will still be a profitable. Well, basically, it's a free trade right now. So that's my trade, my pre-market trade. This is really my target, the this 45.20 or the VWAP, and that's what I'll be watching for a possible rejection later. So this will be a higher risk rejection, but we have got a good area of support and resistance, which is confluence there. So I think we should see a nice rejection off of that area. If we come back down to below 4500 again, I'm going to be watching for a break and retest down. So this is a 4500 mark here. And I've got my green zone a bit below, but that's purely based on previous pivots as well and areas of demand. And I'm about to be stopped out at about that point if we get to that point. So that's what I'm watching for today, a break and retest of this area. And what is a possible target? Let's go back onto the hourly again. So break and retest of 4500. We are targeting, in fact, if we get through, there's not much below. We've got a little bit of, we've got this area over here and not much volume, but let's just go see the bigger picture. Here we go. Yep, so as you can see, we've got the tops of these candles which are going to be acting as support, and we've tested it once and we've tested it twice today here, and possibly we're going to break down. So our next target is going to be this area here, which is 44.71, 44.72 area. So if we do break through this area, we've got, it's a little bit messy. It could be a 44.80 area, might be a possible area to keep an eye on, which is based on this area here. Let's just mark it in so I've got a reminder. So we're going to go for, what I'm looking for is where the most intersections of the candles, so where the tops and bottoms all touch, and that happens to be 44.8250. So that's my area, so I wasn't far off by eyeballing it. So we could say 40, if we break and retest 44.95 to 4500, then we can set our first target of 44.83, 8250, or 44.71 as a target, and there we should see a possible area of a bounce. Yeah, we've got bottoms of candles, tops and bottoms of candles, and a bit more junk also to the left as well. So that's a good area of the target, and that'll also keep within this trend we're seeing as well. So we're seeing lower, lower, low, lower, high, lower, low, lower, high, lower, low, lower, high, lower, low, lower, high. Then a little bit of a bear flag, and then breakdown, and then we've got this bit of a pullback as well. And now we're breaking back down through this area, and this is an important area, 4500. So it's an area to watch. If we see market push up, then possible bounces. We've got this high risk bounce at 45.20, and we've got 45.28 as a potential rejection area as well. So this rejection here, this rejection along here, which based on these candles, and then we've got 45.44 area as well, which is the highs of yesterday, and the highs of yesterday, and then we've got 45.60 would be a better area for a possible rejection, because we've got these tops, these bottoms along here, two bottoms here, another bottom there, a top, and it's an area of concentrated volume where we've had lots of confluence, and so I want to be looking for a possible rejection up there. So that's it really. I'll just quickly sum up the MES and the ES chart. So for rejections, I'm starting from the top. This is a higher probability rejection, 45.60, and then we've got 45.52 and 45.43 areas. All these are higher possibility trades. Then looking at higher risk rejections, we've got 45.28 and 45.20. Possibly a break and retest of 45.05 is a higher risk break and retest area. Let's just come back in again. We have broken through it. Yeah, just be careful, because just be careful when we get to there. If we break through, we've already broken through once. This might be the retest we're seeing now. The breakdown, even though I'm long, I'll keep an eye on this. And then obviously we've got the break and retest at 44.95 to 4500, this area here. So if this happens, I'll be layering in. So I'll be buying, I'll be shorting as we come in. I want to get in there and on the pullback back up. So this is the areas I'm watching, and then possible. Even though these are target areas, they're possible bounce areas as well at 45.82 and 45.72. So that's the MES and ES chart. Let's have a quick look at SPY. We're probably in a similar position. Yeah, similar levels to yesterday's. In fact, all the levels I'm using today are the same as yesterday's. So we've got higher probability rejection at 453 or 452.50. We've also got this 450 area as well, higher probability. And so keep an eye on either for here for a rejection or up here for a rejection as well. And for bounces, you could look at 446.30 to 446, this area for a possible bounce. We've bounced once today. Whether we get a triple bottom, I don't know. But more likely 444 is the better bounce area. And let's just zoom out. And that is based on the tops of these candles here. And so if we are going to see a bounce, we're going to see that's going to be more of a higher probability bounce, and that'll be a layer in trade. And that's it really for SPY. It's almost the same levels. Let's have a look at Qs and NQ while we're here. Again, as yesterday, same levels. We've got a possible, this entire area is a potential bounce or break and retest area. So 370.50 to 370.64 is a potential, I would say, bounce, but I think we're looking for a break and retest. And a bounce maybe at 363.75, which is the bottom of this area congestion. And for rejections, high risk rejection at 378, and then a better rejection at 382 to 383. And then NQ is going to be the same, yeah, same as Qs. So we've got 315, 335, that area there for a potential bounce, but I think we touched it 4 times already. So come down, touched it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, and decrease in volume on the last day as well. So potentially we are going to look for a breakdown. We're going to have to break down at some point, because how many times does it want to touch this area? So if we do break down, then we've got a potential target around 15,300, and then we're aiming for 15,000 over the next week, maybe to get down to that level as a potential bounce. You know, we bounced it here, broke through, pushed back up, and that's our last major bounce through when we came back down to 1,500. So maybe 15,000 is an area to keep on watch for a possible swing or possible long play. And then very lastly, we're going to look at crude oil. Again, there's another sector I'm keeping an eye on, and on the futures as well. Oh, look at that, we talked about the double top yesterday. This area here. So we're putting in this lovely head and shoulders pattern, and the neckline, what's there. So that was a great, and you can see exactly where it broke down. Look at that. So we pulled in, this area is narrowing and narrowing, and then we saw the volume pressure build up as well, and boom, like a spring on a coil, it's been wound, been wound and been wound. And if you look, I've got this indicator here, which is a squeeze indicator, and the first green bar indicates the squeeze has happened. So we're looking at orange bar and red around about here, the black. So you see the squeeze was starting, and then basically that uses what do you call it, Kettner channels and Bollinger bands, and it's like 2 indicators in one put onto its own indicator. I don't use it as much, but I would use it on the hourly, daily and weekly sometimes, and usually it's good when you're trying to work out when the squeeze is about to happen. We're below the 200 moving average now. We're coming up to retest it, so there's and it's a VWAP, so it's a potential retest area for another leg down, and our target is actually this area here. So if we can we get in at 81 and make a target of 78.50, then that's a potential what that be, you could put your stop loss about here, entry there, and that will be a 2-to-1 risk trade if you want to swing it. There you go. So that's all of the levels and all the sets we're looking at. I'll be mainly focused on MES today, and so look at the 5 minute for a second. I don't think I've stopped out yet. No, I'm still in this trade. I'm up quite nicely. So potentially on the smaller time frame, we could be putting in a change of trend at the moment. We've broken this pivot here, and we pull back. We put in a lower high, and possibly if we get over this 50 moving average, get up to the VWAP, then we could be on for this high. I would say slightly higher risk rejection area, but we'll play by ear and we'll just see what the market brings. And keep an eye also on SPY and also SPX, and if any of those are above a area of resistance, which is their support, and we're trying to short into that area, it's unlikely we're going to see it come down, because SPY and SPX will probably just bounce off those levels. So we only want to short. We don't want to short into SPY's support really. So that's keeping on. What I mean by that is, if the SPY chart, if on the SPY, say we want to short this level here, but the SPY is actually above here, trying to short the ES through this area of congestion is going to be much harder, and it probably won't work. But if both SPY and ES and SPX are all lined up and they're all below an area of resistance or support or supply, then that will be a much easier and more probable trade to get a short. Anyway, have a good day trading, and I will speak to some of you in the Discord room today. Take care.